Hey there, it's Bridget here, talking about everyday conversations with Spirit. We tend to think that Spirit is much further away out there versus feeling and knowing that Spirit is here. Now, conceptually, we get it that Spirit is everywhere. Spirit is inside of us, Spirit is next to us, Spirit's in nature, Spirit is in all living things. But when it comes to communicating with Spirit, we don't have a example of how to do that. And so what I want to do today is give you some examples of how to communicate, how to draw Spirit near in an everyday way. Because I believe that if it's really esoteric and complicated, we're not going to do it. If it's simple, we're going to do it. And there's no separation when it comes to your willingness to talk to Spirit. There's no separation between whether your practice is mystical and meditative and all of that jazz versus everyday, practical and realistic. So, some ways that we can have everyday conversations with Spirit. Ways are through frequent acknowledgement that Spirit is with us, by simple actions that show that we are reaching out and willing to receive back. Conversations, dialogues really make the difference. There's so many things that you can do each day on a regular basis to engage that relationship with Spirit. And each time you do one of these things that I'm going to suggest, you affirm that you know that there is help and guidance available, even if you're not sure what that looks like, even if you don't feel like you're getting a direct message back, that's okay. When you're building, creating, or maintaining a relationship with anyone, in the physical or in the invisible, there's a process that happens. There's ups and downs. There's times where you're more engaged and less engaged. It's very rare that we talk to best friends or friends in our lives 24/7 or once a day. So I want you to look at your everyday conversations with Spirit along the same lines as you would your conversations with a friend. In order to be a good friend, you're giving sometimes in the relationship and you're receiving. Sometimes you're talking, sometimes you're listening. Sometimes you reach out to make the phone call, sometimes they do. Sometimes you go over their house, sometimes they do. Sometimes you initiate a plan, sometimes they do. Look at your relationship with Spirit along those lines. And then think about how in your day can you incorporate a little bit of communication, acknowledgement, and dialogue with Spirit? Now, I talked about creating a sacred space in your home. That's always a good idea. So you have a place where you can sit or lie down and the energy of Spirit is there, your representation of your connection with Spirit is there, and it's your spot and it's always there. If you aren't familiar with that, you can check out the Sacred Spaces video where I talk all about that. So there's always that. And then there's the everyday, on the go ways to communicate with Spirit. So think about your day right now as it is. You get up, maybe you eat some breakfast, you go do your stuff for the day, whether that's a job, whether that's being with the kids, whether that's being at home and you're retired, whatever it is. You do that. You make a meal, probably go on the computer or your phone, make another meal, go to bed. When in there, what times in there are you consciously, actively talking to Spirit? Just kind of go through your day and think about that. And if you are saying, oh, I do it all the time, every meal I talk to Spirit, great. Or you might be saying, I don't know that I do that. Either way, in either one, I'm going to give you some ideas of how to more deeply engage or how to start engaging in those everyday conversations. So the first thing I want to say is that when you get up in the morning, it's a great time to say hello to the invisible realms. Whether it's what you consider to be spirit, your guides, your angels, your ancestor allies, say hello. Thanks for joining me. It's going to be a great day. That opens up your day in inclusion. You are including your relationship with spirit. Kind of like you'd wake up and say hello to your kids or your partner or your pet. So waking up and saying hello is a great way to start the day. When you're driving in the car, that is a great time to have a dialogue with spirit. Having a dialogue, looking at spirit as your co-pilot, as an energy that you can visualize if you want, that's there next to you in your car. Engage that energy in conversation. It might feel strange at some, if this is new to you, it might feel strange, but that's okay. Push through the strangeness. There's always something to learn on the other end of strange. Ask spirit or your guides a life question. Like, I'm thinking about this. What do you think? Or I've got this situation going on at work. How do you see it? And pause. Just pause and listen. Listen with your ears, listen with your heart, listen with all of your perceptions. Pause and listen. Maybe even imagine what their response would be. That puts you in an ask and receive position. You might be surprised at what you hear back or what you feel back when you act as if spirit is sitting next to you in the car. So that's one idea, one way that you can engage spirit in an everyday conversation. Another way that you can engage spirit is in the morning or in the afternoon, whatever time of day it is, get a piece of paper out and write 3 sentences. Hey Spirit, I intend to connect with you today. Thank you for helping me. Something simple. When we put pen to paper, we really put things into action and affirm our connection. Another idea, another way that you can engage with spirit is to wear something specific that connects you to spirit, your guides, your allies, your angels. Something that makes you remember that they're with you. Put it on and wear it. And do this occasionally. Because if we do this all the time, then it just becomes another piece of jewelry that we put on. Unless we do it with intention. For instance, this is a necklace that I wear that is a representation of one of my allies. Every time I put it on, I do an acknowledgement and I say, I'm connecting with you right now. Having this on me will help me connect with you all day. So I make that split-second intention and connection. And when I wear this, every time I look in the mirror or happen to see it or feel it, it reminds me of my connection with spirit. If I get to the point where it's becoming rote and I just put it on and I'm not paying attention, then I stop wearing it because it loses its significance and then it doesn't do its job. It just becomes a thing that I'm doing. So picking a specific piece of jewelry or something you can have on you that reminds you of spirit is another way to have that dialogue. The last thing I want to suggest, because I could go on forever, is before bed, before you go to bed as you're going into the dream time, say, hey, thanks for supporting me, and ask them to assist you with a task in the dream time. That task could be letting go of fear. That task could be help me figure out where I'm going to move. That task could be help me organize this project at work. Ask them for their help in the dream time. And then when you wake up, see how you feel, see what you notice, see how spirit may have responded. So, I think there was one more thing. Was there one more thing? No, I think that's it. That's probably enough. Your task for this month is you can do this a couple ways. Pick one thing that I just mentioned and do it every day, just one. Or try each of what I suggested to you throughout the month. Vary it a bit. So you can either do the same thing every day or you can vary it. You will notice a shift in what you're open to and what you're receiving when you are in an everyday conversation, whether it's verbally, kinesthetically, emotionally. When you're in a conversation with Spirit, you're going to notice that you're riding on a 2-lane highway, not a 1-lane highway. Okay, that's it for now. I can't wait to hear from you. I hope you have a beautiful, Spirit-engaged day. Bye for now.